I'm Bele Moorhead, Executive Director of Texas Impact.
Hi, I'm Karenna Gore. I direct the Center for Earth Ethics at Union Theological Seminary. So we draw from the world's faith and wisdom traditions to face the ecological crisis and to bring about the action that we need to transform and transcend it.
So Karenna, you're here at COP30 working on the specific modality of the Global Ethical Stocktake. Can you tell me more what that is?
The Global Ethical Stocktake is an initiative, a new, exciting, groundbreaking initiative from the Brazilian leadership of COP30. It was brought forth by Marina Silva, the Minister of the Environment and Climate Change of Brazil, and it consists of dialogues, essentially. And there's 6 regional dialogues, each of which has a co-leader. That's the official process. So Marina Silva asked me to be the co-leader for North America. There are also self-organized dialogues. And the point of all of this dialoguing with each other is to really draw from the deeper wells of human wisdom, culture, conscience, to really, there are 5 questions, but the essential one that underlies all of them is if we know what it is we need to do to stave off this ecological catastrophe, why are we not doing it? And so it really is a chance for us to recognize the fact that the moment, the place and time that we are in together, it's not the natural systems of the earth that need fixing. It's us. It's human perception and behavior. And the Global Ethical Stocktake is a way to address that.
So you said it was basically Brazil's idea. And then has there been a body that was leading this effort all during 2025?
This is an effort, this particular iteration of the idea comes from Brazil, and it's informed by that wonderful lineage and legacy that Brazil has of the rich culture, and the fact that, as we all recall, this actually began in Brazil in 1992 with the Earth Summit, this whole process. And so in some ways it's really coming home and recharging and committing to the intention behind these global meetings on climate. There have been others who have noticed that science and data alone, they're very important, but it's not quite enough. That what we need to know is not only what the problem is and what we need to do about it, but how and why. And it's very important that we ground in that. And so there is now in this COP a real chance to not have this be the culmination, but rather have it be the launch, and that this will continue onward. And so that's the hope, and that's what I'm a part of here.
So is there so far a plan for using the tools and techniques of the Global Ethical Stocktake going into next year and the year after that to give local communities a chance to have these conversations?
Yes, we are working hard to honor the fact that there has been a real, people are asking, people are rising to this challenge, people are wanting to be a part of bringing forth their own ideas, their concepts, their cultural ways of expressing values to this moment. And so there will be going forward a chance to do self-organized dialogues in which people in communities, sometimes it can be across communities, certainly can be across disciplines like faith and science and arts and business. There are different ways to do it, but there will be a chance for these dialogues to continue, and there will be offered up a way and a methodology to do so, and also we will be creating a way to receive what is generated so that it can be amplified around the world.
Wonderful. You know, we work with the faith community in Texas, a conservative area. Why might it be important for local groups, like local congregations, to have a conversation that has to do with ethics about climate? What do you think they would get out of it?
I think one reason why people are right now not necessarily talking about the topic of ethics and climate is because they're not asked to. And it can be uncomfortable when you talk about issues that involve power, that involve obstacles to justice, to harmony, to balance. It can be something, you need to have the support in place. You need to have intention and you need to have attention. And those are things that in our contemporary culture are hard to come by. I think faith communities are uniquely suited because this has always been a place that people come together to really reflect on the meaning of life. Why are we here? And climate action, someone was saying, a veteran of these COPs was saying earlier that the COPs, while there's been a lot of good to come of it, they've become more technical and more transactional. And in fact, what this Global Ethical Stocktake is doing is bringing it into values. And I think that the way in which faith communities could convene conversations around ethics, really the discernment of right and wrong and the implications of our behavior for our behavior is very powerful. And so I'm really excited to meet you and hear about this work.
So I'm excited to meet you as well. And is there some way in which Americans of faith and conscience might in particular be thinking about the idea of ethical stocktake given our current domestic political framework? Does ethics have a particular role?
I think that ethics has a very important role in our time. When we look at our contemporary discourse, or the way that we talk to each other as neighbors, as Americans, as local community members, whatever circle of belonging you choose in that, the way that we talk to each other has become quite strained in many ways. People feel weary. And it's actually, I think, important to recognize that there are moral claims that are made in these conversations, but often they are not. It's based not so much on the long-term health and well-being and flourishing of life, but maybe it's based a little bit more on short-term profits. We've noticed that there's been a centering of consumerism, of commodification, of certain elements of life that don't reflect the fullness of the human experience and the things that we in our heart of hearts want to pass on to our children and grandchildren. And so this time, what we can do is we can answer the call to make our conversations with each other in community more meaningful towards our deepest held values. And I think that this is a good time to do that, and particularly in areas where you might feel some dissonance between what you care about, what you would teach your children, the role models you'd like for them to have, the way you'd like for them to lead their life. There's some dissonance sometimes now between that and what we see on television, what we understand from our political discussions to be what they're focused on. This is the time to say, no, it's not actually what we want for our children. It's not what we want for our relationship to nature. Here's something better, but we have to do it ourselves. It's not going to come from this current system. It's going to come generated from the communities, from the grassroots, and from these legacies that are represented right there in Texas, where you're from.
So I asked you one last question, which was to kind of think aspirationally, if you can make a wish for American faith communities in 2026 about climate engagement, climate advocacy, what would that wish be?
My wish is that you follow your heart and you speak the truth. I know people have so much within them that they can bring forth that is the medicine that our world needs, our societies. And I wish that there's a native leader named Oren Lyons who often says it comes down to 4 words: value, change, for survival. And I think in many ways we have to look at this situation where we feel that we can see people are already being harmed to stronger storms and the heat and so on, and we can see that it will keep getting worse if we don't address it. So there is some aspect of survival at stake, And we can change in order to make sure that we not only survive, but we thrive, that we look out for the more vulnerable ones that are the ones hurt first and worst. And we already have the values. In faith communities, they're talked about and lifted up all the time. We have to just connect the values to the conversations to the action for change. And I'm very excited about the possibility of us all doing that together, supporting each other and amplifying our best selves.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking time. It's a crazy environment to be here, but so excited to have a minute with you.
Thank you so much, Bea. Wonderful to be with you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.